Hey guys, this is going to be a quick video just going through the 5 constructions we've been doing in class. So hopefully this will help you prepare for the constructions quiz we've been doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy a line segment. Our first step for copying a line segment is to create a line, and you can do this below, above, below, it doesn't matter, that looks longer than the segment we were given. And that's because we need to cut part of this off, but we need to make sure we have more than this amount. So the next thing we're going to do, and this is using the pink safety compass, we're going to stick the brass ring on the end, and I think if you look through you can see how the end of that line is right in there. Okay. And then I'm going to find the spot on the compass that best matches the end. I think that's pretty good, but I want to check the bottom too. Yep, no, that's in the middle. So here is that best spot on the compass, and you can see if you look through, you can see the end of it is right in that spot right there. So I'm going to make a little arc, okay? And then I'm going to figure out where I am. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th spot on the compass. So when I move over here, I'm going to put the brass ring on the end just like before. I'm going to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th spot. And I'm going to make an arc. So this distance here should be the exact same as this distance here because we made an arc with a radius of the same length. And in my class I gave 2 options. You can either cross this off like this just to show that we don't want this rest of it, or you can erase that. But this is the amount we want when we're copying the segment. Okay, next what we're going to do is copy an angle, and just like when we're copying a segment, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a new ray. It's going to represent this bottom here. We don't care how long this is. When we're copying an angle, we care more about how open the angle is, right? Its measure. My next step is to create an arc. So I'm going to put the brass ring on the vertex. I'm going to pick a spot that's easier. Remember, I'll go 1, 2, 3. So from the 3rd spot, I'm going to make an arc. Okay. Now notice that this crossed twice here, so I want to check which one's actually right. So 3, let me just do it one more time. So it's this bottom one. So I'm going to erase that stuff so I don't get confused by it later. Okay. So there's that intersection that I want. I use the 3rd spot, so when I go to this other side, I'm also going to put my brass ring here on the end point. I'm going to go to the 1, 2, 3, 3rd spot. And I need to make sure when I make this arc, it goes back as far as the arc did before. Okay, so notice, since this angle goes back like this is also going to have to go back like this. So this needs to be long enough so it's going to cross that side. Well, my next step is saying, okay, now that I have the same sized arc here and here, if I measure the distance from this intersection to this intersection, that should be the same distance from this intersection to wherever my intersection is going to be. So I'm going to take my brass ring, and I'm going to find the spot that best matches up. That's right in between here, right here. Okay, so that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th spot. 9th spot again. Okay, so when I move it over here, I also have to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oopsies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th spot. Now I've created that intersection, and if I connect this, which is going to be my vertex, to that intersection, I should have an angle that's the same size. So that's how you copy an angle. Okay, on to the back. Now we're going to do an angle bisector. So to create an angle bisector, the first thing I'm going to do is make an arc. Doesn't matter what size, any size will do. Okay, and you'll notice I've created these 2 intersections. From those 2 intersections, I'm going to make new arcs, but these arcs have to be the same size. And what I mean by that is I have to use the same spot on the compass. So I put my brass ring on that intersection. I'm just going to pick the 5th spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter what you use, but since I'm using the 5th now, I also have to use this 5th spot when I move down to this intersection. So I used to have the brass ring up here, and now I'm going to put this brass ring on this intersection. Okay, since I used the 5th spot before, I need to use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th spot now. Okay, now I have an intersection in the middle, and if I connect my vertex to that intersection, I will have an angle bisector. Okay, just cut that angle in half. Okay, perpendicular bisector. This is probably one of the easiest ones. We need to cut this in half. So all we're going to do is we're going to put the brass ring on this end point. I'm going to pick a spot that's farther than half. So this is about the halfway point. That's just a guesstimate, but that's about half. So I need to make sure whatever spot I pick is farther than half. So I'm going to pick the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th spot. Okay, and with that 10th spot, I'm going to make an arc. Okay, I use this 10th spot right here. Now you have two options. You can either flip the compass around, or what I think is easier sometimes is just spin the paper around. Because from this endpoint, I am now also going to be at the 10th spot. And I'm going to make an arc from this side. Okay. So you'll notice when I make those two arcs, I now have two intersections, and you can't draw your line until you have both intersections. If your arc doesn't cross twice, you need to go back and make your arc longer. It should be almost a half of a circle. Okay, and then I'm going to connect this point to that intersection there. Okay, this is my perpendicular bisector because this segment, or this is perpendicular to this segment, and it cuts this in half. So this from here to here is the same as this from here to here. And it's also worth noting that this thing right here is my midpoint. So if I ever ask you to construct a midpoint, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we've got one more. It's a perpendicular line through a point. Okay, we can't use these endpoints out because this isn't in the middle anymore of this and this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our compass. Okay, we're going to take our compass and we're going to put the brass ring on the point. And we need to make an arc that crosses this line twice. So there's my first cross, there's my second cross. Okay. From each of those two intersections, we're going to make a new arc. Okay. So for this arc, it didn't matter what size as long as it crossed twice. But now whatever I use from this intersection, I'm going to use the fifth spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever I do from this side, I use the fifth spot there. When I move to this intersection, I still need to use that fifth spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then I just take my X marks the spot, and I'm going to draw a line from this to this. Okay. This is just a perpendicular line. It's not cutting this segment in half, but it is going to be perpendicular to that line. That's the purpose of it. So those are our 5 constructions. Go ahead and watch these a couple times. I'm also going to upload the document that I printed out this, so if you want to do it along with me, you can. Or if you just want to try it again for practice, then you can kind of take a look at this from before to see if they kind of line up. So I hope that was helpful. Please bring any questions you have with you next class.